Hello fellow coin collectors, and welcome to another video on the Pennies and Shillings channel. The date is 5 October 1960. The National Party, which had come into power in 1948, is at the height of its power, with Henry Verwoerd at the helm. At the time, South Africa was still a union of the United Kingdom and a member of the Commonwealth. On this day, a referendum is being held. A referendum that will forever change the landscape of South Africa. A referendum to decide whether we should break away and become a republic. Many people were against the move, of which the Natal province was the most prominent. The Natal Witness, Natal's daily English newspaper, passionately warned its avid readers that not to vote against the republic is to help those who would cut us loose from our moorings and set us adrift in a treacherous and uncharted sea, at the very time that the winds of change are blowing up to hurricane force. The opposition was not strong, or should I say dramatic enough, and with a vote of narrowly passing 52%, South Africa officially became a republic on the 31st of December 1961, exactly 51 years to the day after becoming a union in 1910. As of becoming a republic and telling the Commonwealth, it's not us, it's you, wasn't enough, we also discovered that we have 10 digits and not 12, and we promptly opted for a decimal system by introducing the first decimal coin series. We were so excited, in fact, that we even composed a jingle and invented a mascot, Dan Decimal or Decimal Dan.
Decimal Dan, the round cent man, gives you cents for pennies whenever he can. 1 cent for a penny and 2 for 2.
And 2.5 for a ticky.
And notes and silver are worth the same.
Remember, it's just a change in their name.
Decimal Dan.
And so, the pennies and shillings and pounds made way for cents and rands. The series is highly collectible, as it was minted during an interesting part of South Africa's transitional history. Let us have a look at each coin, key dates and values. The coins of the first decimal series were designed to be used during the transitional period, with each coin mimicking a specific coin in the Union series. And as a result, each coin shares the diameter of its counterpart. The obverse, except for the springbok, were designed by Willie Meiberg and the reverse by Kruger Gray. Kurt Steinberg designed the well-known springbok, which graces the reverse of the 50 cent, replacing the crown, as well as the gold 1 rand and 2 rand coins. The initials can be found around the devices of the coin. The obverse on all of the coins are that of Jan van Riebeeck. Now, Jan van Riebeeck was a Dutch navigator and colonial administrator of the Dutch East India Company, and was held in high regard by many South Africans. Today, well, let's just say he's keeping some people up at night. Now, the first coin in the series is the half cent, as a replacement for the half penny. Now, as you can see, they are exactly the same size. It's just the color that's a bit different. Now, the coin is made of 75% copper, 25.5% zinc and 0.5% tin. And of course, this odd combination gives the coin an almost golden-like appearance. And this, of course, is due to the reduced amount of copper. The coin is also less likely to tone as the alloy is somewhat more stable. Now, a pair of Cape Sparrows is depicted on the reverse. And it's interesting to note that Gert Malan, the Mint's director at the time, from 1961 until 1965, actually wanted to abandon the use of the sparrows in favor of a church tower. This, however, never came to be. Now, as you can see from the mintages, a large number of these coins were minted. From 1961, where over 39 million of the coins were minted, up until 1964, where 9.2 million of the coins were minted. All the years are fairly easy to come by, with the proofs reaching around 80 rand to 100 rand, and an uncirculated specimen in good condition around 50 rand, I would say. The value drops sharply if the coin shows anywhere at all. Like with all coins, of course, a graded specimen can reach anything from 300 Rand upwards, maybe even as high as 1,000 Rand for a particularly high grade. NGC lists about 137 of these coins as of the 24th of January 2023, ranging from MS62 all the way up to MS67. It's interesting that the color designation is totally absent with these coins. And of course, this is a direct consequence of the reduced copper content. Now, as expected, the 1 cent piece mirrors the penny in size, but it's very slightly heavier. Not that you're going to detect that if you measure it in your hand. Now, the coin has the same metal composition as the half cent, and like with the half cent, Jan van Riebeeck was used on the obverse, as you can see over there, with an ox wagon depicted on the reverse. Millions of these coins were minted, with the proofs valued at around 80 Rand to 100 Rand each, and an uncirculated specimen, I would say around 50 Rand. The exception to this, of course, is the full ground cover variant on the 1961 coin. Around 80 were minted, and only 20 are known to have survived. Now, these coins would fetch upwards of 40,000 Rand, and is easily the most elusive coin in this series. So, if you have a 1961 1 cent, always check. You never know. It might just be the full ground cover variant. Now, the 2.5 cent coin replaced the 3-pence coin with a tikkie. The coin features the King Protea on the reverse, and it consists of 50% silver. Now, unlike the original tikkie, the bundles surrounding the Protea has been removed, probably because depicting half a bundle would be a bit difficult. The 1962 is somewhat tricky to come by, and in a good condition you can expect to pay around 200 Rand for that coin. The 1964, I would say around 120 Rand, with the 1961 and the 1963 around 60 Rand per coin. The proofs, of course, would be worth slightly more. Now, NGC has 314 of these coins graded, ranging from an MS62 up to MS68. Now, like its counterpart, the 5 cent piece also depicts a King Protea on the reverse, as you can see, with the only difference being is that the bundles that surround the Protea was reduced from 6 to 5. The large quantities of these were minted, ranging from 1.4 million coins in 1961 to just over 8 million in 1963. Any silver 5 cent coin is worth around 80 Rand in a good uncirculated condition. NGC lists 123 of these coins, ranging from MS61 to a really spectacular MS68. Expect to pay a premium for the graded coins. Now, the 10 cent coin replaces the shilling, and also features the same device, namely the Lady of Hope, which was an important symbol for the Cape. With its relatively high mintages, you can expect to get around 90 Rand to 100 Rand for a coin in a good uncirculated condition, and of course values drop quite significantly if the coin is well worn. The proofs, again, worth slightly more. 220 10 cent pieces have been graded by the NGC, ranging from MS61 to MS68. Now, the next coin in the series, of course, is the 20 cent piece. Now, the 20 cent piece is a replacement for the half crown, or the 2.5 shilling. And as you can see, the coins are very similar in nature. They both have the coat of arms. It's only the depiction 2.5 shillings versus 20 cents that you can really see, and of course the date, where you can see that there's a difference. Now, also the mintages, as you can see, is quite high, so you can expect to get around 200 Rand for an uncirculated 20 cent piece, and of course quite a bit less if it is worn, and proofs, of course, slightly higher again. NGC lists 168 of these coins, ranging from MS61 up to MS68. The only other thing that I could perhaps mention is that the 1962 has two variants. So, and that is of course the 2 of the date. In the one version is smaller, and with the other version it's larger. So the version that I've got here, that is the large 2 variant. Last but not least, we have the 50-cent piece. And of course, the 50-cent piece replaces the crown. Again, as you can see, very, very similar in nature. And this is a huge coin, and it's heavy. And to think this was only 50 cent at the time. Now, as you can see from the mintages as well, slightly less than with the other denominations. The 1962, somewhat tricky to come by, and you would expect to pay 600 Rand to 700 Rand for a 1962 50-cent piece, with the others around 300 to 400 Rand for them. NGC lists 383 of these coins that have been graded, again ranging from 61 until MS68. Now, to complete the collection, of course, a 22 karat gold 1 Rand coin and 2 Rand coin were also minted, which respectively replaced the South African gold half pound and the pound coins, which was introduced earlier in 1952. Now, both the pound and the Rand gold coins match the specification of the British half sovereign and sovereign coin, which was minted in the Royal Mint branch in Pretoria at the time, until it became the South African Mint. And that was until 1932. In 1965, regular circulating 1 Rand coins were introduced in parallel. Of course, the first ones was in silver, and then later on in nickel. The gold 1 Rand coin denomination was issued until 1983. And then, of course, it was replaced by none other than the Krugerrand bullion. Now, the mintages for the 1961 to the 1964 gold 1 Rand coin and 2 Rand coin is as follows. Expect to pay around 4,000 Rand for the 1 Rand coin and around 8,000 Rand for the 2 Rand coin. Now, large numbers of these coins have been melted down, unfortunately. So these coins, although in the past they were actually quite easy to come by, they're actually getting quite rare. So these values could actually be much higher. But they're definitely a good investment in terms of bullion. Guys, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video on the first decimal series, where we started to count until 10 and not to 12. Thanks for watching. Keep well and happy collecting.
It's just a change in their name.
Decimal